I am here at the African American Military Museum in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. And here we're at the Korean War section honoring Jesse Brown. Destiny, tell us a little bit about Jesse Brown.
Well, Jesse Brown is a Hattiesburg native, born here at 1926, October 13th. He actually went to school here as well. He graduated second in his class. And from there, he went to Ohio State, where he shortly enlisted into the Navy. And we all know the story of Jesse Brown.
In fact, I'm going to ask you to tell us about the significance of having, Jesse Brown, who is the first African American in the U.S. Navy as a pilot, right?
Exactly.
And he's also the first African American naval aviator, to put it correctly.
Yes. I found this really cool thing. Okay, so I want all of you guys to come and see this. So we'll have him speak for himself. Ta-da!
My name is Ensign Jesse Leroy Brown, and I came from Hattiesburg, Mississippi. My folks were sharecroppers, and they worked hard, but we didn't have much to show for it. No running water, no electricity. When I was a boy, I used to watch the planes fly over our cotton fields, and I'd say, that's where I want to be. So I worked hard too. Graduated second in my high school class, and I went on to graduate from Ohio State University. Less than 1% of the students there were black. I was like a fish out of water in the ROTC. But when they told me no black man would ever fly in a Navy cockpit, well, that's all I needed to hear. I went on to become the first African American pilot in the United States Navy.
Okay, I just thought that was so cool, and honestly, in the beginning, I was like, "Oh my God, this is real!" But obviously, that's an actor. Okay.
No, it's not a ghost.
Yeah, I thought that one too. However, so the there's so much that I want to ask you, and also to share with everybody. And the reason why I'm here, and I just laid a flower here and the token to honor him, really, and all African Americans who fought in the Korean War. 1/3 out of the 1.8 million, 600,000 African Americans fought, as well as my boss, Congressman Charlie Rangel. And the story goes that, do you want to tell about his story and Thomas Hudner's?
Oh yeah, of course. So look at here. So honestly, in 1950, December 1950, Jesse was Army support mission, and he actually got hit by enemy fire. There's a theory that one of the enemy was actually hiding in the snow, because they were near the mountains.
No, they actually were. The Chinese and North Korean guerrilla fighters would dress up in all white to blend in with the snow to disguise themselves.
That
was a guerrilla tactic used by the Chinese commander in the region, Peng Dawai.
There we go. So yes, he was hit by enemy fire, and he had to crash land his plane. Now, he didn't crash from the fire, he had to crash land it, and that was kind of the safest place for him to do it. When Thomas Hudner, his friend, saw it, another fellow pilot, he actually risked his life, took a risk, and crash landed as close as he could to Jesse. So when he got to Jesse was conscious, but he was kind of going in and out. And he was pinned in the plane. He was pinned in the aircraft, and his aircraft actually started smoking. So Hudner was able to call for backup, and they sent a helicopter. And he kind of climbed on top of the plane and started putting smoke on it, so putting snow on it so the smoke would cease. So when the helicopter arrived, they brought an axe with him. He had called for some type of tool in order to get Jesse from the aircraft. Unfortunately, the axe couldn't penetrate. It did no good, and nightfall came. Now, they had to go, because at that time the helicopters weren't really capable of flying at night. So they left. But before Hutner, before they left, Jesse told Hutner to tell his wife Daisy that he loved her, and he did just that. And since then, he's been with the Brown family until he died last year, November 2017.
Well, Brett, can you come? I want everybody to see this. As you were talking, it says, of course, he couldn't rescue him. However, it says he died in Mr. Hutner's arms while still trapped in the cockpit. Truly, Thomas Hutner and Jesse Brown were brothers in arms who would risk their lives for one another despite the differences in the color of their skin. And it's so beautiful. And the reason why this story and just is so familiar to me is that when Mr. Hutner attempted to recover his remains in North Korea, he visited in July 2013, and I was working for, of course, Congressman Rangel back then, and Mr. Rangel was asked to go, but due to his legislative schedule, he couldn't. And it just always just kind of stuck with me and bothered me, and that is why not only was I familiar with the story, but I came here because I wanted to pay my respect to Mr. Brown, whom, of course, I can't go to North Korea and recover his remains, but at least I can come here to his hometown, his birthplace, and say thank you. But here it says all black in an integrated army. So technically, and I say technically because there was an all black unit, President Truman did integrate the army.
Executive Order 9981. Yep.
Right before the Korean War. So we're going to kind of go backwards into history, right before the Korean War. And this is, of course, you know better, but the many African Americans distinguished themselves in World War I.
No, I'm trying to get the, because it says right there. Can y'all read what that says right there? If not, I can.
Go ahead.
It is. It's the executive order.
Or 9981.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is hereby declared to be the policy of the president that there shall be equality of treatment and opportunity for all persons in the armed services without regard to race, color, religion, or national origin. Harry S. Truman, Executive Order 9981.
Okay. So yes, but if you travel now, so back, the reason that was, I think, signed was because many African Americans distinguished themselves in the wars before Korean War, World War II. We all maybe have watched Red Tails, right?
Yeah.
I've seen it. I have it on my iPad.
There are a couple of movies about the Tuskegee.
The one with Lawrence Fishburne in 1995.
And I gotta also give a shout out to Congressman Rangel, who also sponsored the bill that earned them the Congressional Gold Medal, as well as in, there it is.
Tuskegee Airmen.
Yes, and then we're gonna go to Harlem Hellfighters.
Harlem Hellfighters. 369.
Yeah,
So
369 Harlem again,
Yeah.
Mr. Rangel, our district, and so.
So we're coming from World War. We came from Korean,
Yep.
World War II, and this is World War I, where you'll see the Harlem Hellfighters. So we have a section on them as well.
Yeah, shout out to Harlem Hellfighters.
And here we have Lieutenant James Reesier, who was actually a Harlem Hellfighter as well. He was the leader of the band, the brass band.
So we'll
they had.
just show the picture here.
Yep.
Okay, let's go.
Right? And coming out of war, because we're going backwards, now we're going into the
Buffalo Soldiers. So, Buffalo Soldiers, not a lot of people know what they are.
Yeah.
By the way, Harlem Hellfighters were named Harlem Hellfighters because they fought so fiercely. The Germans were like, what the hell? They came from hell.
Yeah, they earned their nickname.
That's
exactly.
why they earned that name. Well, how about Buffalo Soldiers? Why? And I have many friends who are part of the Buffalo Soldiers, honoring their legacy, of course. But why Buffalo Soldiers?
Why not Buffalo Soldiers? Right. So Buffalo Soldiers were essentially like the first cowboys, right? Or the African American cowboys, if you will. This right here is Kathy Williams. She is the first documented woman in the military. Now, women weren't allowed into the military until 1942.
So did she pretend like she was?
She pretended she was a guy and called herself William
Yeah,
Kathy.
let's show.
And so the yeah.
Yes.
So I want to say the physical wasn't so thorough back then, I assume.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's go now this way. And I just want to now show Brett to the front.
Mm-hmm.
I just also want to kind of end with here, it says, there has been no war fought by or within the United States in which African Americans did not participate. You know, and I always say that despite facing discrimination, you know, on the home front, you know, many times racism on the home front, they fought valiantly, you know, on the battlefield, abroad. And
Both voluntarily and involuntarily.
Yes.
In some cases, pointing that out right there.
yeah, so this is it. This is the African American Military History Museum.
Hattiesburg, Mississippi.
Hattiesburg, Mississippi. And I have a friend whom I would like to introduce. And Fred.
Right here. Hi.
Yeah, he's the one that's been moving the video really fast. Yeah.
I'm not a photojournalism major, give me a break, so...
But he is extremely knowledgeable about all things Korean War. Why?
Because I was in South Korea for 2.5 years. I was an English teacher for the South Korean Air Force. And the Korean War also is the forgotten war. And South Korea is like a second home to me. That's where I taught English for their Air Force. And I'm thinking that's not right. We need to remember the Korean War. The Korean War is it means a lot to me in Hattiesburg because Jesse LeRoy Brown's from Hattiesburg, and that story of him and Lieutenant Thomas Hudner helped pave the way for an integrated America and to keep the U.S. military integrated. And when it first integrated in 48, it was just 2 years after it integrated, and we had that amazing story. And we need to keep the memory of these veterans alive. Also, many of them are dying because they're getting so old. And when they die, we need to remember and preserve their legacy. Many people are doing that with World War II veterans, and many people will do it with Vietnam veterans, but the Korean War could be the forgotten war forever if people, unless people like Hannah Kim was doing a good job preserving their legacy.
Well, I do want to say Brett has followed me on Facebook as I was making my way around the world, and he would always write these comments with like gazillion exclamation points. It's extremely passionate.
Hey, I'm enthusiastic about and military and Asian history. So.
And I'm like, who is this person writing like 100 different exclamation points? But he really cheered me on, and I appreciate it. And so when he knew that I was going from Mobile to Alabama to Meridian, he said, hey, I'm not too far away. The African American Museum is in Mississippi. And I said, whoa, really? And he said, that's where Jesse Brown's hometown is. I said, I looked at the map and I said, okay, I have to stop by. Even if it's out of my way, I'm like, I have to be there. And so I'm extremely grateful to Destiny again for just staying after. Okay, this is Saturday. The museum closes at 4, but here she is. I don't know. I think it's already 5 right now. So can you switch places? Because I want to show everybody Destiny's pretty face again.
Sure.
So there's 3 of us, so we're playing like musical chair. But
Okay.
yeah. So here's Destiny. So I just want to say thank you so much again. And everybody, okay, come to the African American Military History Museum.
There's a picture of Jesse LeRoy Brown on the left side right there.
Exactly. And Destiny, can you read what it says right below?
To honor the spirit of the African American soldiers who fought and died for a country that denied their basic freedoms at home.
Yeah. So everybody, this is a very special. It's not a memorial, but it's an extremely special stop in my journey. Please continue to follow me. I have entered now my state number 27 in my 50 state, 70 city, 90-day journey across America to honor veterans and promote peace. Remember 727.org. Thank you. Bye.